The Carbery footballers are on a real roll right now. 5 wins in a row, and their latest was on Sunday night, a 16 to 15 point win against Duhallow in the Divisional College's senior football final. So that has Carbery through to the quarterfinals of the championship proper, and we're delighted to be joined by Ruairi Hourihane, who's flying the Kilmacabea flag with the Carbery footballers. How's the form now, Ruairi?
Not too bad now. Still on a bit of a high, to be honest with you. It was an unbelievable night now, to be honest. So yeah, still kind of coming down and analysing it all, and not really sure how it transpired that we ended up winning that game, but we came out the right side of it, so all good.
It's superb. Like I said, it's 5 wins in a row, and we'll get to that game quite soon. But like I mentioned there, like you're flying the Kilmacabea flag with Carbery. So what appealed to you to get involved, put your lot in with the Carbery footballers, to get involved with the divisional football team?
For me, no, it was a no-brainer, to be honest. I was involved last in 2009 when we lost to the Bars in the county semi-final in Páirc Uí Rinn. Awful night. We just never showed up, and the game was there for the taking, I suppose. So I'm still 13 years later, I'm still trying to get over that game. So when Tim rang me, it was just a no-brainer, really, to be honest. I know the Carbery have kind of had a few years of, you know, maybe not performing or not winning matches. So, but for me, like, it was an absolute no-brainer. Like, there's something different about this division, like, that, you know, we go out every week into the white heat of battle, like, but, you know, when it comes to Carbery, you just park that, and, you know, we're all just one division striving for the same goal, really. So it was a no-brainer for me, really. Simple decision.
And there is a real fierce tradition in Carbery football. Like, go back over the years, some of the great players that have worn that Carbery jersey. And now, like I mentioned, there was a couple of lean years, but now at last, I'm going to borrow Tim Buckley's analogy, this train is moving. Like, there's 5 wins in a row here. Carbery are through to the quarterfinals of the championship. But go back to the start of the season. Could you sense that there was something different about this year compared to the last couple of years when they were lean seasons and things just weren't falling Carbery's way?
Well, I suppose, like, I personally haven't been involved the last couple of years, so I can't really speak to that. But like this year, the moment I turned up, it was like everyone was just kind of buzzing. I turned up after the Mo Kelly game, I think. So they had 1 game played, but like we went out to Ballinacurrig, and I don't know, there was just something different. Everyone was shaking hands. Everyone was just having a bit of a joke, having a bit of a laugh. So I think that's kind of been the difference. And, you know, when you look at last night's game as well, like, I suppose Duhallow had only played 1 game. We were after playing 4 before last night, and you could see when it came down to the stretch, like when you know, it was all in the melting pot, like that, the camaraderie was there that I don't know, does any other divisional side have that kind of, you know, togetherness, and it's just a great feeling, really, to be honest.
Probably what helps that togetherness, Ruairi. The fact is that you're winning games together, but you've 5 games in a row now, so lads are getting to know each other. Because if you go back to the Junior A football championship, usually fellas are knocking scalps out of each other during championship games, and even, let's say, Kilmacabea and Mary's in a huge quarterfinal this Sunday, but then you're lining up huge, like, and then you're lining up with Mary's fellas in with the Carbery team, when you're all wearing the same jersey and going for the same cause. So that bond, like, I presume that bond is strengthening game by game, training session by training session.
Yeah, and 100%. And you could see it there, like it's something we talked about before the Duhallow game, was just that, you know, in the UCC game, maybe person A wasn't passing the person B just because they kind of didn't really know what their run was going to be, or maybe they didn't trust them or whatever. And then kind of something just clicked there in the second half of the UCC game. And I think Tim said it like this. There was just a moment there in the second half of the UCC game where it just felt like we're going to win this game. And I don't even know if we were winning at that stage. But it just seemed to click. And then same thing yesterday, like, it just kind of maybe 10, 15 minutes into the second half, it just kind of clicked, and we were all just one, and it just felt like we were going to win that game, that if there was going to be a winner in normal time, it was going to be us. Like, so yeah, like this, the togetherness, I can't really explain it, to be honest. Like, and I've only been involved, you know, here and there, because I kind of tore my hamstring there a couple of in the Barry game, so been a lot of rehab and stuff. But, you know, you talk about the togetherness, like, it would have been very easy for Tim to just say, look, Rory, we'll talk to you again. We'll see you next year. We'll see what's going on next year. But Tim's been texting me non-stop like the last couple of weeks, even though I was injured, like and I was on the sideline doing the water for the UCC game and just feeling as much part of it as the lads who were togged out, like so that all kind of feeds into it, like. And then I was absolutely champing at the bit then yesterday to tog off. I hadn't told my father actually that I was going to tog off at all. But yeah, it all worked out in the end anyway.
Back to that Bear game. So that was your first game with Carbery this year, but you said you went off, I think, around 30 minutes in with that hamstring injury, and that sideline you then you missed the game against Avondhu after that, and against UCC. So what was that rehab like for you, and how eager were you to get back, I suppose, with Kilmacabea first off your club, but then to get involved with Carbery again?
Yeah, it's been an awful few weeks, to be honest, because I actually came back against Ballinascarty in the championship, and then I did it again after about 25 minutes. And you just feel that you've kind of let everyone down, that maybe I came back too soon, etc., etc. So it's just been up in the gym every day, doing runs, doing physio, doing your stretches. But there was always, it's a lot easier when there is a carrot at the end of the stick. And, championship with Kilmacabea was obviously, number one priority. But I text Tim only yesterday afternoon about 2:00, saying, look, Tim, I trained this morning. I'm feeling great. I'm ready to go. And he said, brilliant. And again, it could have been very easy to just be like, look, not today, Rory, whatever. We'll send you over on the other side doing the water, but he didn't. And I got on, and it's just amazing to be part of it, really, to be honest. And yeah, it's been a tough couple of weeks, but when it was about 3 or 4 minutes to go yesterday and it was 15 points all, there is just nowhere else in the world you'd prefer to be, nowhere else in the world.
You came on inside that final quarter against Duhallow, and the game was in the melting pot. Then it was point for point, it was so tight and so tense. What was the instructions you were given coming on?
not much, just kind of bring it home, or just there's 10 minutes to go, absolutely run your heart out and just try and make something happen, I suppose. I think that in the first half we kind of maybe played a bit towards Duhallow. We were kind of, what will they do? And we kind of adjusted our style to try and match them, etc. And then in the second half, then we just kind of went in and did our own thing. So it was very much there's just so much trust there. That, there really wasn't a whole lot to be said, really. Holly and Tim just said, go on, and you're going on, and just that's it, really, to be honest. But I don't know how we won, really, to be honest with you. It was a bit bizarre, but we got there in the end of the day.
Carbery definitely take it, but even down to those final few moments with the James Regan with the winning kick and so on, and you're up against a seasoned team like Duhallow, county finalists, county semi-finalists, they've been there, done that in terms of they've been the shining light of divisional teams over the last couple of years. They've been the divisional team getting to the latter end of the knockout stages in the football championship. So Carbery were up against a fairly decent team on Sunday night. So what do you think got you over the line in those final couple of minutes?
Well, before the final couple of minutes, I think the key was that, they go 4 point. That first half really was the key. I think that we went in 2 points down at half time, having not played very well. And I don't know how the lads managed it. We got the last point there before half time, and to go in, to have played badly and go in 2 points down. Yes, there was a lot of shouting at half time, but there was just a sense that we have so much more to go. And they go 4 points up, and then we bring it back to 2. We couldn't get inside the 2, but to finish the half 2 points down was the key issue, really. And then I suppose it was absolutely mad. There was I'm sure from the sideline and watching it might have felt absolutely helter-skelter, but there was just a calmness on the pitch, that you kind of look around to Brian and Cullum and Sean and all them, and those big players, and it was just complete calm. Even though it was one of the biggest games that Carbery have played in a long, long time. When you looked at the guy next to you and it's just complete calm, it just fills you with a bit of, confidence, and maybe we might actually do this. So I think that's what kind of got us over the line, was just looking around, and it was just complete calm, and everyone was just we can do this. We believe from the first minute, even though we weren't playing well, we just believed that, this is there for the taking. And I was talking to the lads there before about 2009 when we lost to the Bars, and we just didn't show up that day, and that game was there for the taking. So I think that, you know, we just channeled that and was just like, look, we're not going to be here again. Who knows when we're going to be here again? So we just you know, kicked on and thankfully kind of got over the line in the end. But I honestly, like, we're going to watch the game later on. I can't really explain kind of how we ended up getting over the line, but it was just phenomenal, really. And then when Donnacha had that kick there at the end, you know, you give him that ball in that position 10 times more and he'd kick it 10 times. But it was just that the pressure was there from us the whole game, that, you know, he felt the pressure, everyone felt the pressure, because we had just been exerting it all through the game. So I don't know, I can't really explain it, to be honest, but everyone was just calm, and thankfully we got there in the end.
And the reward now is a place in the quarterfinals of the County Premier Senior Football Championship. We won't know who Carbery are playing until Sunday week when the final round of football games is played. But just for Carbery to be back in that company in the last stage with the Nemos and the Bars and teams like this, you know, when you're given the tradition and history of football here in Carbery, like, this is where, I know no team, like, you can't guarantee success, but it feels right for Carbery to be back in this company again after so long.
It feels right, but like, you can't expect it, like you said, like, and afterwards a lot of people were saying that there's a great tradition of football in Carbery and we're proud footballers, etc. But, you know, that counts for nothing unless you're winning matches, like, and the last few years, yes, we've been a proud division, but like, this is us proving it, I suppose. And that's what it comes down to at the end of the day, that we can talk all we want about how great Carbery is, etc. But, you know, this is us showing people, like, how good a division this is and how good the footballers are here. And you know, it's like you said, there's a massive pride here, and we're just absolutely buzzing to kick on with the county, to be honest. It's been a few years now since we've been there, and everyone is just absolutely raring to go. We've all have big championship matches now this weekend, and like, look, we'll regroup in a few weeks' time, but you know, we're definitely going to enjoy last night and today, to be honest.
And does it help having someone like Hawley O'Sullivan involved this year? Like, obviously Hawley has his pedigree with Carbery, go back to 2004 as captain back there, and he's been there, done that, and Tim Buckley's brought him into the management team this year as a coach. But having someone of Hawley's knowledge and his passion, because Hawley isn't afraid to say what he thinks either. Yeah,
definitely. And you know, when I was injured and the lads had meetups, etc., I was definitely going just to listen to Hawley, to be totally honest with you, just to see what he was, you know, he has the board with the magnets and stuff like that. And just to hear his take on the game and how he views football nowadays is phenomenal, really, like his insight into it. And like, you know, he did play, like you said, he has massive pedigree, but he has been out of the game for a few years. So it's just unbelievable to see his insight into it, even though he's kind of not been involved in a playing sense. And, you know, when he talks, people listen. And, you know, the stuff that he says all the time just makes sense. And, you know, he was saying things like, let's say in the UCC game, he was just like 3 tackles a man in a half, and that's 45 tackles. And when you actually kind of think about it, he's 100% right, but it's not something that you would have pieced together yourself. So it's just kind of small nuggets like that, that he brings, and you know, it's invaluable, really, to be honest.
And what kind of strikes me about this Carbery team too is just as a lovely blend of youth and experience, you know, kind of the experienced heads there, and even some of the former Cork lads, the Colin O'Driscolls, the Brian O'Driscolls, Kevin when he's back, even Ruairi Dean back in this year, but then go down to the Paddy Younger, like Paddy O'Driscoll there, and the Sean Davies as well, you know, kind of the next generation of footballers who'll take over the mantle at some stage and carry this. So just seems to be a good blend in there at the moment, Ruairi.
Yeah, and I think maybe you said there, like, what was the difference over the last few years? I think that may be something that clicked this year. You know, like you said, I mean, the first training I turned up to, Paddy was in the middle of it, or just finished his leaving cert or something, and I'm 34, like, so, you know, there's a bit of an age gap there, but yeah, I think potentially that may be one of the big differences is just, and then, you know, we're all just chatting, we're all just getting on, we're all having a laugh. There is no kind of age difference or anything like that when it comes down to it, like, and I think maybe that's something that maybe has galvanized us a bit. But it looks like hopefully Carbery is in very good hands for the next decade or so.
Tell me, have you set up your own WhatsApp group? Is that Carbery J WhatsApp group? Are the messages kind of zinging in at the moment?
It's mainly only Brian Driscoll now to be in the middle of it trying to organise things, or Sean Ryan. We'll have. I just think it's very important, like, that football is so serious, that sometimes it's okay to just, have a bit of fun. And that coming down the stretch last night, like, you had the butterflies, you were like, you kind of sensed something amazing was going to happen, and we got over the line. And I just think that, I was telling Paddy, like, that, things like this don't happen all the time. That, like, it was 13 years ago we were last in the semi-final. So, it's not going to happen every year. So I think it's very, very important to enjoy it while it lasts. And, look, we'll go back to the clubs now after today, and it'll be all focus again. But I think this is why you get involved. And, when I was up in the gym and doing all the rehab and stuff, like, it was hard going, but, this just makes it all worth it. Like, when Tim called me to warm up to go onto the pitch last night, I was just absolutely buzzing, could not wait to get on. So look, we all make the sacrifices, and it's important, I think, to enjoy it when you get a win like that.
That's a great point, Rory, about having fun. And Tim Buckley's mentioned that a couple of times, but even talking to Rory Dean and Donal O'Driscoll over the last couple of weeks, they both kind of said that as well. Football and hurling, even at club level, it's so serious now. There's so much on every game, but I suppose we can't lose sight of the fact that it's about having fun, having enjoyment, going out there, having fun on a football field. But you kind of feel the Carbery team has got the balance right with that. So
yeah. I mean, like, there was a big old sing-song now last night, but leading up to the game, it was like, business. So we got together a few times, and, like, I can't speak for what the other divisions are doing in the other colleges, etc. But definitely Tim and Hawley and the rest of the selectors, they've definitely approached this. And in fairness to the Carbery board, they said that we wouldn't be left wanting. So we kind of got together. We had our chats. It was serious. When the ball was thrown, it was down to brass tacks. But when the final whistle blows and you beat Duhallow 16-15 in an absolute thriller of a football match, it's okay to have a bit of fun. And there was a big old sing-song now in Blackrock last night.
Share some secrets. So who's a good man for sing-song in that Carbery team?
I can't be saying too much now, but Sean Ryan and Ogie Scannell now would be two men for the old sing-song. And Tim wrote a poem, so maybe next time you have him on, when we make the final, you can get him to recite that poem.
We might get Sean Rogie on the podcast soon, so
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But before I let you go, so I have to ask too, just turning to Kilmacabea for a second, like I said earlier, huge weekend of Carbery Junior A football quarterfinals.
Massive, yeah.
Coming up this weekend, like, it's kind of, first off, just to get your thoughts on the group stages. First time that Carbery brought in group stages in the Junior A football. Each club had 3 games, top 2 from the 4 groups to the quarterfinals. What do you make of it?
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant decision. We were getting the bus there yesterday from Blackrock into Páirc Uí Rinn, and everyone was just saying, like, yes. Everyone agreed with it. I think it was absolutely brilliant. I think it all, look, there was some toing and froing with Barry Rowe, etc. But I think for the most part, it was brilliant. Everyone's guaranteed 3 games. Like, it just worked out very, very well. I suppose, look, there is some things still to be sorted out. I think maybe the league could start a little bit later. Like, we're not playing championship in April like we used to. So I'm not really sure, what if there's much use in having league games in February, and then going around the country then trying to find friendlies in June. But for the most part, it's been brilliant. Now, I can't speak for the dual clubs. Look, I'm in a privileged position, I suppose, where we just focus on the football, and it's a little bit easier. I think for the dual clubs, maybe it's a little bit harder that the hurlings afterwards. But again, look, I can't really speak to that. But group stages are absolutely brilliant. And look, it's thrown up some absolute belters this weekend. I think, Ball, James's, ourselves, Mary's, there's going to be 3-4 very good teams that are going to be out this weekend, come kind of Sunday evening. But we'll see how it goes. But absolute massive fan of the group stages. I think it's brilliant.
How do you assess Kilmacabe's form so far? I know you've been out with Damien Gore and a couple of other injured fellas. You haven't had your full complement of players to pick from it. But I still think you put up 3-11 against Clonakilty the last day without the likes of Gore and so on. But heading into this game against Mary's on Sunday, what do Kilmacabea need to do to get through to the semi-final? Besides obviously winning the game.
Perform. We just need to perform. I think that, look, Mary's are a very, very good side. Geez, there's some amazing players. But look, we'll be confident, but we just have to perform. I think that if we're being totally honest with ourselves, I'm not sure if we've. When you look 1 to 15, we're a good team in individual terms, but I just think that we need to string a team performance together. And if I'm totally honest, I'm not sure that we've even done that since maybe we won the West Cork a couple of years ago. So there's a big performance coming. So hopefully it'll be Sunday evening.
Oh, fantastic, Ruairi. You've been so kind with your time. Best of luck in the weeks ahead with Kilmacabea and with Carbery.
Thanks a million, Kieran. Thanks a million, buddy.